Because CERN is on a limited time budget today, there will only be three halves to the show. I think that's what CERN just told me. He said that there's going to be something about robots in the third half. So
For
we don't
those,
have time to do two shows today. So we're taking the available content and dividing it into three sections, of which the third, I'm still confused.
well, that's a nod to those Car Talk fans out there.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Those guys always used to talk about the third half of the show.
The third half of the show. Well, there you go. Okay.
Yeah.
See, I'm behind as usual. Okay. You are telling me that you're having a potpourri though. This is the potpourri show.
Yeah, we're going to cover a smattering of a few topics here today.
Okay.
Um, yeah. So let's get into it, shall we?
Okay, why don't we get right into it
Yeah,
before we completely blow this opening?
that's right.
Oh,
So how about this? So we have Elon doing some cooking, and this is FSD version 14.
okay. I thought maybe it was his 14th birthday.
Well, I'm pretty sure he's older than that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, unless maybe he counts it in, dog years or something.
Right.
Yeah, even that wouldn't quite be right.
No, no, no.
Thanks to Lewis for this. Elon and crew can cook.
Yeah.
All right. Disclaimer out of the way.
So are you disclaiming at this point that did you add something to disclaim ridiculous pictures?
I didn't really feel like I needed to, but
Okay.
with the disclaimer out of the way, we can get right into the investment advice part of the show.
Okay.
Not investment advice. This is from Dylan Loomis. He says the easiest wealth creation hack: invest in Elon's companies as soon as possible and then do nothing for as long as possible. I'm
Yes.
not sure how many people heed that advice.
Well,
This seems to.
Jensen Wang, maybe you're going to do this because, oh, whoops. Oh, never mind. I'll shut up.
No, go ahead.
No, go ahead. You go ahead.
You go ahead. I insist.
Yeah, Jensen Wang had just said kind of the same thing. Yeah.
There you go. Thank you for that, Randy.
I need to read ahead, I guess. I don't
You're
know.
usually one slide ahead of me. In this case, you were right in sync.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. All right. So everybody's focused on how the tax credit's gone away,
Yeah.
but very few people are talking about the thing that's now kind of in place,
Okay.
and that's a deduction on the interest paid
Right.
for loans.
Right.
Okay. So again, thanks to Lewis, and I'm sorry for this small font on the screen, but this is actually something kind of important to think about. So thanks to the One Big Beautiful Bill, um, interest on qualifying auto loans is tax deductible.
Hmm.
Okay. So, for example, a $35,000 72-month loan for average credit, if it's 7% APR, the total interest over the life of the loan is like $8,000.
Okay.
If it's at 9% APR, total interest is like 10,300.
Okay.
Okay. Now, the Lewis points out the law is certain through 2028. An extension would be needed post 2028 for the full benefits.
Okay.
Okay. So there's some uncertainty there. And a shorter loan would accrue less interest. So if you don't have 72 months on the loan, it's different.
Hmm.
Okay. And then the deduction limit is up to $10,000 a year in interest.
Okay.
Okay. So in this case, we're looking at the life of the loan is between 8 and 10,000 for a $35,000 vehicle.
Right.
But just for completeness, he's got the $10,000 limit per year. Okay. And so for purchasing new vehicles only, used vehicles are not eligible.
Right.
It's for personal use, not business or commercial.
Okay.
Okay. And as long as the car, minivan, SUV, et cetera, is less than 14,000 pounds and the final assemblies in the United States, and there's income phase outs. Okay. Greater than 100,000 for single, greater than 200,000 for joint filers. Okay. So anyway, this could be a fairly significant deduction. If you could deduct the full amount of interest, again, on this particular example, between $8,000 and $10,000, that's like getting the EV credit, but over a period of time.
No, wait. This is not a tech. This is not a tax. This is not reduced from your tax bill, right? This would be reducing your income.
Yeah, the interest on the loan is tax deductible.
Tax deductible. So if it was $10,000 over the life of the loan and you're in the 20% tax bracket, it would literally be a couple of $1,000s of money in your pocket.
Correct.
Yes.
Yeah, it's apples to oranges in terms of the
Right.
EV tax
Right.
credit,
Right.
which was 7,500 off,
Right.
which really effectively allowed the automakers probably to charge more for the car than they would have
Right.
otherwise.
Right. Right.
But anyway, yeah,
But hey, and $2,000 is not, it's free.
yeah,
It's extra. Yeah. That's
yep.
good.
Okay. So with that, all that the detail out of the way, again, I think important for people to realize.
Yeah.
And then the third thing from Lewis, he's on our show 3 times today. Um, Lewis does a great job of reminding people how many lives FSD could save. We have about 40,000 annual traffic deaths in the U.S. every year.
Hmm.
So, for example, the Oriole Park in Camden Yards in Baltimore has a capacity of 45,000 people. It's like the whole stadium dying,
Hmm. Hmm.
right? Tropicana Field in St. Petersburg, 42,000, et cetera. So
Hmm.
your local baseball stadium, just imagine all those people dying in a car accident each year. That's
Right.
the amount of people we could save with better technology that we basically now have
And that's just in the US.
just in the US. And in the world, apparently, something like 1 million people,
Right. And then
which
and
is,
then there's a weird kind of thing that people talk about from time to time, which is when somebody dies, it's sad, and you mourn them and you wish they hadn't died.
yeah,
But when they live with catastrophic injuries, that's worse for them and for you.
right.
I mean, yes, you still have their company, but now you may have a caretaking situation. You may have expenses that go on for years. So I don't know how many catastrophic injuries there are a year, but there's a lot.
There's a lot, it's probably more than 40,000.
Right.
Yeah, no, excellent point. Okay. So this is a chart I put together every quarter when Tesla announces their production and delivery results. And it's fairly easy to calculate the number of days of inventory,
Hmm.
right? You take the new vehicle ending inventory, divide by the quarterly deliveries, divided by 75, and you get to 11 days of inventory.
Okay.
Okay. Now, the industry kind of uses a 6-day week.
Mm.
So this is kind of like 2 weeks of inventory.
Okay.
Okay. And you can see here what it has been going all the way back to September of 2012.
Hmm.
Okay. So during the COVID times, inventories were super low.
Right.
And in recent years, they bumped up a little bit, but still pretty low.
Hmm.
But what I like to do is adjust this for the fact that when Tesla makes a vehicle, it takes a minute to get the vehicle in the customer's hands.
Right. Mhm.
And so if we adjust for that, we get what I call true inventory days. And my adjustment essentially factors in the shipping time from, Shanghai to customers, the shipping time from Fremont to customers in Germany and so on. And I come up with about a global average of like 18 days or 3 weeks essentially.
Hmm.
Okay, so if we back off then that 11 days for the 3 week, shipping time,
Right.
we actually have essentially a 7 day or a 1 week negative inventory.
Right.
All right, this is globally. It's probably
Yes.
worse in the US
Right.
and it's probably higher internationally.
Right.
Um, so anyway, it's the reality is that Tesla sells every car that it makes.
Right.
That-
And especially if you look back over the last, whatever that is, 10 years, 12 years, it's been consistently so. Yeah.
yeah. So it's interesting. If we had this for the other automakers, it would not look like this.
Right. Right. Not even close.
Far more inventory. Now they have the ability to kind of stuff the channel. They can sell
Hmm.
the cars to the dealers and have it sit there for a year if they want to.
Hmm.
Um, so either way, Tesla runs a pretty tight ship here, and this last quarter, they're back down to the negative inventory again.
Hmm. Hmm.
Again, that's by design, and that's fine. Okay, shifting gears entirely, let's look at Tesla's business in energy equivalents.
Right.
Okay, so if we assume that every vehicle on average that Tesla sells has a 75 kilowatt hour battery pack.
Okay.
Okay, so the vehicles over the last 12 months have delivered 129 gigawatt hours of energy. Okay.
Hmm.
And if we factor in the energy business, which has delivered 44 gigawatt hours, we can see that this is the highest amount of energy that Tesla's ever delivered in its products
Right.
in Q3. Okay. Now, when we compare that to Tesla's stated capacity,
Hmm.
Tesla says that they have a 3 million production capacity for vehicles.
Hmm.
So that would be equivalent to about 225 gigawatt hours, that light uh, red bar or peach bar there on the right side.
Hmm.
So we can go from 129 up to 225 without expanding capacity. That's nice. And on the energy side, we can go from 44, that green bar there, just on the far right, to the capacity of 100 or so gigawatt hours, the bright red bar at the
Right.
top. So Tesla can pretty much, I think it's about an 80 or 90% increase
Mhm.
in its total production of energy with the current capacity that they have. So they've built the company for some pretty serious growth going forward. And of course, they're also building another energy production facility outside of Houston that'll add to that 100 gigawatt hour capacity number.
Right.
Maybe take it up to 150 or something like
Well,
that.
not to mention a small factory in Reno that's got a capacity of 40 to 50,000 semi trucks, which would have a very substantial increase. And then not to mention the factory within a factory for cybercabs, which is supposed to be, I think, a couple of million units a year is the
Yeah.
capacity. Just maybe just in Austin. I'm not sure.
Yeah. Yeah. The numbers on this chart I'm using from Tesla's quarterly slide deck where they
Right.
actually state what their capacities are. But you're right. That's what's coming. It's an even larger number.
Mhm.
Yep. And then this is the cumulative deliveries and deployments for vehicles and energy expressed in gigawatt hours.
Okay.
Pretty amazing number. We're up now over 700 gigawatt hours of energy deployed over the lifetime of the company.
Hmm.
Okay, so we're getting close to that 1 terawatt hour number. It's a lot.
Yeah,
This
a
is this
terawatt
is
is a lot. Yeah.
this is a nice chart, and you can see that the green part, the energy business, is becoming a larger percentage
Hmm. Hmm.
over time. This will be fun to track over the next decade or so. Okay, so you can think of Tesla now as as an energy company, right? In that sense.
Yeah, actually, I made the switch to energy company about 4 years ago, before I even started doing the show, as opposed to an auto company. And I think I might have been influenced by Warren on that because Warren really started talking about counting Tesla in terms of battery units of batteries,
Yeah.
as a way to figure it. And then of course Elon changed 2 years ago and said, no, we're really a AI company specializing in robotics. So we've had kind of three transitions: the auto company to energy company, now AI company.
Yeah, ultimately it's the AI company, which is another word for intelligence.
Right.
It's a really an intelligence company
Mhm.
in terms of where it's moving towards. Yep. But even there with robots, we can track the energy content of robots too and track it on
Sure.
this chart. So we've kind
Oh,
of
yeah.
got both things going for the foreseeable future.
Yes, as the book that you are one of the authors of will cleverly point out over and over again, what we're looking at right now is energy equals AI equals wealth.
Yeah, absolutely. Yep. This is a really busy table, but it's instructive, I think, because it shows all the different versions of FSD since 2021.
Hmm.
And it's pretty phenomenal. Like a lot of us sort of feel like, oh, we're waiting for the next update. How
Yeah.
come we're not getting it? But the team has been pretty busy here, right? And developing the software in real time and pushing it out. Not everybody gets all these updates, particularly the initial ones in different versions. We might get, version 14.2 or 14.3 before we see it.
Yeah.
But again, I think this is pretty impressive.
Yeah, Brian Wong was saying, I think it was last night, it might have been Monday night, he was saying that he believes it might be taking as much as 2 months to run the training on FSD 14.
Mm.
Just the amount of time on computer might take 2 months. So I don't know if that's true or not, but that's his estimate.
Yeah, that wouldn't surprise me. More compute. We still need more compute.
Yeah.
All this talk of an AI bubble,
Yeah.
the media does not understand what's happening. Yeah. Um, we've talked about Elon's performance award. There's some images that I haven't seen before that the company shared. This one was kind of interesting. You know, in 2018, Elon had to grow Tesla by billions. Now it's trillions.
Yeah.
So when they gave him the award, the company was valued at 59 billion. The board approval of the 2018 CEO Performance Award. And the company since then has gone up by 332% to just over 1 trillion at the point that they approved the 2025 award. And in order to receive the full amount of the award from a market cap perspective, which is just one component, the company would have to appreciate by 579%.
Yay.
Yeah.
Okay with me.
Okay with me. And they point out here that Elon only gets compensated if shareholders win and win big.
Yes.
Right. If Elon fails to achieve the goals, Elon earns nothing.
Yeah.
Right. And if he succeeds in achieving all these milestones, Tesla will become more valuable than any company in history, and shareholders will benefit from unprecedented growth and value creation. The reason I think that we don't see other companies doing this is because other CEOs are not capable of doing this. That's the sad fact. And we saw the data that the company had put in the proxy statement. And by the way, I ordered a copy of the proxy statement in the mail, and it's about an inch thick.
Well, yeah.
Right. But they point out in the study that they did that only NVIDIA would have met 3, I think, of the 10 tranches.
Wow.
And basically, there was really no other company that could even meet 1. Or
Yeah.
there was maybe a handful that met 1.
Yeah, I think most of these CEOs do have some kind of bonus or incentive built into
Yeah.
the plans. But most of them want some kind of a stable guarantee.
Right.
I kind of wanted to go back and think about my own, 29 years of running a manufacturing business and whether I would have been willing to take a 100% incentivized deal. No. No,
There are not many CEOs that would.
no.
And I don't know of any other public company CEOs that have.
Yes.
Please let us know in the comments if you
Right.
are aware of any.
Right.
And that's the unique thing about this is that most CEO compensation plans are pretty much a guarantee of some pretty good compensation for CEOs without them doing much of anything.
Without them doing, you mean you don't mean that they don't have to work. You're saying that they'll get it no matter, even if they don't do much. Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
Mary Barra is a good example of that, I think. Not to pick on one person, but this is a chart that shows the EBITDA targets in terms of what they were versus the second quarter of 2025, last 12 months. So to get all the way to the end of this $400 billion EBITDA target, it's a 26x in profitability. So, the market cap goals are great, but the profitability ones are it's a big stretch. And this is why I've said that if Elon gets the company here, we're probably going to blow through the market cap targets.
Oh, yeah.
Because I think the company will be more highly valued than what they've baked into this.
Right.
So this 400 billion in EBITDA is a harder target than meeting the market cap goals, in my opinion.
Yeah. Most of the people that follow this channel, when I've asked, or on X, I've asked in polling, most folks are going to be pretty happy if Tesla just gets to like 3,000.
Yeah.
Which of course is darn near a 10x from here, or it would be like an 8x from here. But 3,000, they would all be very happy with 3,000 as opposed to 20,000 or whatever these would imply.
Yeah. Well, and again, it's interesting too because it's not like there's a finality to this. It's
Right.
these are just signposts along the way. And if chances are, if the company's hitting these signposts and making 300 billion, 400 billion EBITDA, then they're probably also well on the way to growing that to a trillion in EBITDA
Right.
eventually.
Right. Right.
Right. So, yeah. I thought this was good from Elon. We do this because it's not because it's easy, but because we thought it would be easy. And he's labeled this macro hard. This is the
Yeah.
Microsoft competition that he's creating here
Right.
to basically get rid of all software and just use AI.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's a good mantra for them.
Yep.
Um, we see this a lot. We've seen a similar chart of Tesla versus the auto industry companies. Now we're seeing this chart of NVIDIA versus the combined market cap of the big pharma companies. And I find it kind of hilarious that people like to do this. On one hand, it's like, how can one company be worth more
Yeah.
than the entire pharmaceutical business?
Yeah.
Well, when you think about what NVIDIA is doing, it actually makes complete sense. And in fact, I think NVIDIA will likely be multiples
Right.
larger than the pharmaceutical business.
Right.
Although the pharmaceutical business ultimately will benefit from AI,
Massively.
right? But the idea is that intelligence is unlimited. Pharmaceuticals, big market, big growth opportunity, but it's limited. I don't know how many pills you want to take a day, Randy, but there's probably a limit to that.
I don't know if there's a limit or not because I'm a big proponent of supplements. And so there's quite a handful at both breakfast and dinner that I take. And I have a very strong criteria for this. I don't know if we ever want to talk about something like this in detail, but I don't take a supplement unless I am seeing an actual benefit. I need to see a physical, actual, measurable benefit from taking that supplement. So I take quite a handful, but in every single case, there's been clarity that there's something happening that's valuable.
Sounds like a good
Yeah.
rule of thumb.
Yeah.
I'm curious as to how you actually determine that, but that's maybe a topic for another day. Um, anyway, so that's that. And then Elon posted this. He says, so few understand the implications, even when stated as clearly as below. Well, what's stated below? Well, below is this idea of rocket reusability, right? It isn't just optimization, right? When you throw rockets away, you're limited by factory throughput, 16 rockets a year. Reuse them and you enter a different regime of launch volume, economics, and ambition. So the chart shows SpaceX launches broken down by, booster status and whether it's a reused booster in blue or a new booster in orange. And you can see in 2015, 2016, there were all new boosters.
Yeah.
2017, we start getting some reused ones in there. And fast forward out to the right, 2024, it looks like, 90% are reused. And they're adding new ones into the fleet, I suppose. But
Right.
right. And so you're able to launch more rockets. That's great. And you're probably reducing the cost massively by doing so.
You're reducing the cost a lot. Yeah.
Yeah. And then, of course, you've got the innovation of Starship now on top of this, and you can drive down launch costs even more.
Because you're reusing both.
Reusing both.
Yeah.
And it's a larger vessel as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I thought that was worth sharing.
And Monday or Tuesday? I think it's Tuesday. Tuesday, I think we're supposed to have the next launch.
13th?
Is that Tuesday? 10,
Not
11,
sure.
12. No, Monday.
Monday.
Yeah.
Great. Okay, so let's talk about robots.
Sure.
Today we had an announcement from Figure. And of course, this relates to Tesla because of Tesla's humanoid robot business.
Sure.
Figure ultimately will be a competitor of Tesla. It remains to be seen how strong of a competitor Figure will be, but we're in the early days of robot development. And this is Figure 3. Their new version of the humanoid robot, the third version of it. It looks a little bit more like 1X's robot in terms of a fabric cover.
Yeah.
And so what I'd actually like to do here is actually share a video. This is a new thing, Randy, on your channel.
That you are going to share a video.
We're
Okay.
actually going to share a video.
Okay. All right. I'll let you take a
So
shot. Yeah.
let's see if we can do this. See if we can play this without messing something up. And I'm going to reduce the volume in case you get some kind of strike.
Yeah. Okay.
Um, but the thing that you first see about this figure robot is the way it moves. It looks a lot more fluid,
A lot more human.
a lot more human.
Mhm.
Okay. Um, and the way it turns around is a bit more natural, I think.
Mhm. Mhm.
It looks to me, like a nice durable fabric that it's covered with
Right.
that
Right.
hopefully protects against pinch points a bit more than it used to, but there's still plenty of pinch points on this thing.
Yeah. He also mentioned in the details that there's a foam that they're using to also protect.
Yeah. So this video is quite nice because it shows the robot doing various things.
Okay.
There's the charging stand, and it's actually charging through its feet, I believe.
Right.
So they're making it a little bit easier for you to imagine what it would be like in your home, right? Washing
Mhm.
dishes, watering plants, bringing food to the table, right? And just kind of working in the background.
Mhm. Mhm.
Here's the guy with a bag of groceries, and figure just takes it out of his hand,
Mhm.
playing ball with the dog. There's a lot of dogs that are going to love these robots if they play
Yeah.
ball with them.
Yeah. I hadn't thought about that use, but that would be a huge one.
Huge one.
Walking the dog, everybody's talked about, but throwing the ball, that's
Yeah. It might get to the point where they throw food to the humans and we have to fetch our food. But here's the charging stand. You can see it standing on the pad there,
yeah, yeah,
stepping off, and then going back to work.
right.
And of course, in my house, there'd be plenty of things like this to pick up. It does a nice deep squat here to pick up these toys
Uh,
and puts them in I guess, the toy basket there.
yeah.
Closes the laptop and puts it on the table. And puts the cushion back on the couch. So these are all
Yeah.
practical, real world things that the
Yeah.
bot is doing.
Even patted it down.
Yeah. This one's kind of fun. Is a plate, and we've got a little bit of popcorn on the table. He uses his hand and just kind of pushes it off the edge.
That's
Right. So there's a certain understanding of physics there in order for that to happen.
sure, sure.
So no problem doing deep squats.
Hmm.
It could be a good exercise coach,
Oh, 100%. I
personal
think
trainer.
I
Yeah.
think there'll be a major use. Yeah.
And then here actually it was interesting. It turns the water on and rinses the plate without getting its hands all wet.
Yeah.
Don't know what the limits of that might be, but
Mhm.
interesting. And then we've seen this before from Figure, but loading the dishwasher.
Right.
It's got a unique way of grabbing the plate. It pushes down on one
Oh,
side and
yeah.
flips up one edge.
Oh, yeah.
My guess is you might go through a few more dishes than you would otherwise in the early days of this. But you know what? Some of these dishes, they're not that expensive. So I wouldn't trust Figure with your fine china just yet. But
Right.
um, and we've also seen from Figure the robot loading the washing machine
Right.
before. And they're saying that they've been able to transfer the data they've gathered from Figure 2 to this bot.
Okay. Sure, sure.
So it's not just loading the washing machine, it's actually turning it on.
I see.
So it's going to put the detergent in there. I was hoping it would do the liquid instead of the pod, but it's
I
going
see.
to grab a pod here.
Yeah, yeah.
So this new robot actually has cameras in its hands, so it can see in a dark place like this.
Interesting.
Yeah. Now, that's something that we humans have not evolved to,
No.
but which makes sense for a robot.
Well, couldn't he just pick up his phone and turn on the light? Yeah.
Well, easier just to build it into the hands, I suppose. A lot of people have criticized robot for, folding the t-shirt here. It's not the best job, but it's about as good as I do.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It would be perfectly adequate for my clothes.
Well, yes, it's man level folding. Yeah.
It's good enough.
Now, if they have a female bot, then you would expect it to fold the clothes much better.
Well, eventually the bot's can fold clothes better than any human can. It's just right now it can't quite do that. Um, Now they show the bot at a front desk here, I guess, of a hotel,
I see. I see. Okay.
and points to where the elevators are, I suppose. But of course, the bot can also talk.
Right.
They didn't show that here in the video, but bot delivery robot here,
Yeah.
carrying a package very carefully. I've never seen an Amazon delivery person carry a package this carefully. Sets it down. And then here is, I guess, a bot working on a battery pack.
Hmm.
So I was hoping to see bots making bots. We haven't seen that yet.
We in our early videos of Optimus, the bot was uh, attaching an arm or some such thing.
Yeah. Here are the bots holding the glasses, the wine glasses. That's quite a bit of balance when somebody takes a glass off
Yeah.
the tray to maintain that balance. So anyway, that's the video.
Yeah.
And I've just grabbed some slides. We'll come back to my slide deck here. And a lot of this is going to be redundant, but apparently Figure's robot has been named the best invention of 2025 by Time magazine.
I see. Well, that
Now, for those of you that don't realize that Time magazine still exists, I'm not really sure, how strong it's going at this point, but this is still a thing, I guess. But good for them.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, anyway, there's a website you can go to get more details on the robot. Here's some screenshots with it. A couple of things I wanted to mention. Let's see, I'm just going to skip through some of this. Here's a little video here of the bot being able to pick up an egg
Okay, yeah, yeah.
and a card from a deck of cards.
Hmm.
And there's a little video clip associated with this on the website. So that's important to be able to do a lot of things that humans can do.
Sure, sure.
It says that the fingertip sensor can detect forces as small as 3 grams of pressure. It's sensitive enough to register the weight of a paperclip resting on your finger.
Hmm.
So that's pretty sensitive. I think humans can probably measure more than that, but that's a good start for a robot. Okay. Designed for the home. This has 9% less mass and less volume. So it makes it easier to maneuver through household spaces.
Right.
Okay. And hopefully a little bit cheaper to make too. I thought it was kind of nice the way that it turns its head. It seems more natural.
Right, right.
And of course, with the fabric, it kind of hides maybe some of the mechanical stuff going on behind the scenes, which is nice.
Mm-hmm.
And you can see here the camera behind the head.
Yeah, yeah. So,
So
my mother had one of those.
that's right.
I guess she's 100 years old next May. As far as I know, she still has that capability.
Yeah, some humans seem to be born with that.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, and there's some shots of the robot close up. You can see there's plenty of different pinch points here, but it's certainly a lot cleaner look. You're not seeing any external wires anymore.
Oh, yeah.
And if you compare this with the Figure 01, this is a night and day change.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And the feet look pretty neat. I'm still waiting for the day that a global shoemaker like Nike or Adidas sponsors these robots to produce the footwear for them.
100%. That was your idea. We're going to keep you in mind when this happens.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a huge opportunity for those companies. They really should be all over it. I don't know what they're waiting for.
Yeah, yeah.
And then here, talk about design for mass manufacturing, and they talk about their goals here. They've said that they've got a production line that'll initially be capable of producing up to 12,000 robots per year.
Mm-hmm.
And they have a goal of producing 100,000 robots over the next 4 years.
Right.
Which, doesn't sound a lot, and certainly for Tesla would not be a huge stretch, but for a startup company, this would be a really nice achievement.
Right, But I think this is a big, big walk back from his earlier statements.
Yeah, again, I think it's a challenge, right, to mass
Yeah.
manufacture anything.
Well, again, I think well, I figured out maybe you and I were talking about it, I can't remember, but with the Tesla bot now having at least 50 actuators, if you want to make 100,000 bots, you got to make 5 million actuators.
Yeah, we're going to need a few of those, aren't we?
So and making that many actuators is not we're not talking about a slam dunk. Now, I think Tesla's planning to make a lot of those themselves. Somewhere along the line, it seems to me that they said that they were going to be having some suppliers that were going to be involved in making some of those actuators. But that's a lot of actuators.
Yeah, and Figure's saying here that they chose to vertically integrate across many critical module builds, including actuators, batteries, sensors, structures, and electronics,
Mhm.
all of which were designed completely in-house.
Right.
Now, over time, of course, they'll want to find suppliers for these things, I
Mhm.
think.
Maybe.
Maybe.
Yep.
Yep. Okay, so I think we've probably covered this well. Again, just a bunch of screenshots here of the bot. We saw it from the video. Just fly through these. But overall, I'm impressed.
Yeah.
Um, they've made, I think, some great strides in the development of their bot here, and I'm sure we'll see some pretty. Here's another shot of the wine glasses. So he's holding a tray there of 4 wine
Yeah.
glasses,
Yeah.
and the woman comes along and takes one.
Yeah.
Um, so that's pretty neat. Okay, we got to finish with a few cartoons, Randy.
Okay. Okay.
So the market's done well lately. The bears are, the bears in your head are looking out for opportunities, right? Um, Here's another one. Market's gone up and the bears getting tripped up.
Yeah.
I love it when the bears suffer. I don't know. It's just a good feeling to see bears suffering in this way. Not
And
real bears.
I'm not sure that there's much opportunity for the Bears going forward. We've talked a lot about it on the show, but it's kind of hard to see where the slowdown is going to come.
Yeah. Usually when people capitulate on being bearish, that probably is
Yeah,
the sign of the top.
that
Here's
is.
the bear saying the end is near and he's
Yeah.
given up. He's going home. I thought this was cute. We've got a unicycle on the left, and then you've got a bicycle, tricycle, motorcycle, and then economic cycle, which steamrolls all of the others.
Yeah, yeah,
U.S. national debt here is a big hole in the ground, and this guy's saying it's like the Grand Canyon, only it's man-made.
yeah.
And then last but not least, investors are rational, and then they're laughing their heads off. And the guy says, you're hilarious." Um,
So I was commenting last night that there's a Tom Lee video out right now where he's talking about his experience in the 90s when he was more or less just getting started. And he said that he was in a group. Maybe this is something you know about already, or maybe it's something we could talk about in the future, where he said that the group he was in, their very specific tasking was analyzing the bonds in order to pick the timing in the stocks. So apparently there were bond movements that were highly correlated to what was going to happen in equities.
Interesting. Yeah, I'll have to see what he's been saying about that.
Yeah,
I started my career essentially in 1995,
about the same time.
about the same time, in the early days of the dot-com boom. And I was managing a growth mutual fund during that period, and so I had a front row seat to all the hijinks that went on with IPOs and all the different things. It was a pretty phenomenal time to gain experience into this business. Of course, it was easy after 5 years. I thought everything I touched turned to gold.
Right. Yes. Until
Right.
until.
Yeah. I remember in the fourth quarter of 1999, the fund I managed was up 25% in just one quarter. Right. So feeling pretty invincible.
Yeah. Yeah.
And while the internet has been a major contributor to, everything that we do, there were certainly a lot of companies that had business models that weren't going to work. They had no business being around, right? Pets.com being the poster child of
It
this,
is the poster child. It's the one that always gets mentioned.
right? And there are plenty of others,
Yes.
right? They weren't measuring revenues, they were measuring eyeballs,
Yeah.
right? And I think with AI, it's different. We're hearing a lot of people now talk about this, this AI bubble.
Right.
And of course, fears about this kind of circular economy with, OpenAI and Oracle and NVIDIA all investing in each other and all this, just
Right.
shuffling money around. But the reality is we're going to redo the entire compute of the world. And that is trillions just to do that.
Yeah.
Not to mention to come up with new applications for AI, which is huge. And of course, we're seeing that with Tesla,
Right.
with FSD. There's an example right there of an application of AI that never existed before, that needs a lot of compute and needs a big investment,
Compute.
right? And not to mention the humanoid robots that we've just talked about.
Yeah.
That's another massive project that's going to take years to fully develop.
Yeah.
And the spending that's going to be involved just in that is huge. So in my mind, if stocks are weak because of fears about an AI bubble, that probably is a pretty good opportunity for investors. Again, not investment advice, but just specifically or directionally in terms of opportunities. This is probably one of the biggest investment periods that we're ever going to see.
So again, using Tom Lee as my source, but Tom Lee says he thinks we're more like in 1997.
Yeah.
We were a genius for 3 more years. And that would be kind of my view also, because what really broke down in the 90s was not only the people that were just throwing .com on the end of their name and didn't really have any revenue or any real method for getting to revenues, but it was also the infrastructure, the telecoms. They just overbuilt. Well, they didn't really overbuild.
No.
They overbuilt compared to what the need was in 1999.
Right.
Not what the need was going to be in 2005.
Yeah.
So there was a boom bust situation, and the most recent example of this would be lithium. So 2 years ago, Elon goes, "There's not enough lithium in the entire world. We have to get lots more lithium." And then all of a sudden, there was lots of lithium and an oversupply of batteries. Well, that only took about, I don't know, 9 months to maybe a year between that point where there was not enough ever and then too much. These kinds of things happen all the time. And I think that there is absolutely a possibility that 3 years from now, we could have too many chips, or, that Samsung and Taiwan TSMC could be saying, "Oh, we're going to be 10% down this year for the first time ever." It could happen.
Well, I think it's highly unlikely. I think actually that is what's keeping things under control, is that we are severely constrained on chip production.
Right. Yeah.
Also, a lot of people worry about energy. I think the energy may be kind of like the lithium example at some point. Although for a few years it may be a problem. But eventually I think we'll solve that. And I think Elon's Master Plan Part 4 is going to probably address a lot of that, or some of that.
Right.
But ultimately, in my mind, it's probably the chips is where the biggest gating factor is right now, and will be for the foreseeable future.
So these clap back on that is that chips could evolve into something that is much more powerful. I'm talking about not a long-term structural problem, just like the telecoms were not long-term.
Right.
It was a short-term. So I could see that we could end up with a hill that needs a year off, or 2 years off or whatever, but then continues on from here. But I think it's going to be with the companies that are going to be impacted this time are going to be companies that have $50 billion in the bank, and it's just not going to matter.
Right. Yeah. I mean, it'll matter for the stock prices, I guess, in the short term, but that will probably prove to be a pretty amazing buying opportunity for those people that can see through that. The way I think about it is what we're developing here is intelligence, and there's no limit to the amount of intelligence that we can deploy in the world.
Yeah.
That is an investment opportunity that is going to persist for a decade or two, if not longer.
My mother's been saying that about me my entire life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, she's like a lot of investors, she remains hopeful.
With that in mind, I know you have a short leash. We have to let you go. So, Cern, thank you as always for coming on with your enormously entertaining slides, as well as hopefully informational from time to time. And we will look forward maybe to seeing you on the weekend as well. And to all of you out there, it's been great talking to you.
Thanks, Randy.